They interviewed some different spiritual leaders and to ask them any advice that they have for the current times that we are living in. And it was interesting to amongst all of these traditions. And one of the things that each of them talked about was being in service, that making a point to create action, something that you can do to help the world, maybe your small little world inside your home, or maybe the bigger world. But that each of them said that acts of service is an important piece of the spiritual life. Another component of it was gratitude, having gratitude and knowing your blessings and feeling your blessings, and let them kind of be cultivated within you, so that we have this sense of strength to move from. So of course it made me think about yoga. And there's different types of quote unquote yoga, and karma yoga is the yoga of action. And we think of the word karma as kind of like what comes around goes around. um, but really it's the yoga of pure action. And when we are trying to cultivate being in service to the world, what can we do to help? It requires action. And Alana, you said this to me the other day, of it's not just a matter of thinking about these things, that we have to act, we have to put our voice out there, we have to do something small or large in order to make change happen. So of course these things have to start within ourselves, that we can't just go out and do something without first cultivating the capacity within us. And our yoga practice is so good for this, because it gives us stability and resiliency and stamina and presence, and the ability to really go in and observe what's happening in ourselves, so that we can have pure motives. So some of the things about karma yoga, that are the important components of it are, first, a pure motive. When you are moving into action, you need to lose your ego, and you need to lose your attachment, and we need to work with the sense that we are all united, that your actions impact. And this is the law of karma, that every thought, word, action that you have has an impact. So if we don't do these things, if our motives are not pure, and we're not losing our ego, and we're not detaching, we can oftentimes have our actions be filled with competition and obsession and aggravation and aggression, if we are really hell-bent on my way or the highway, or whatever kind of attachment we have to things. So the first piece of it is to purify your motives and decrease your ego. And then the next is to know your dharma. What is your gift to the world? What do you have to offer? What's unique that you have to offer? And once again, let go of the ego. What you might have to offer is just being kind to your dog, right? And it can be small things, everyday things. It doesn't have to be grand, like I'm going to fix the world. And then, when you find that dharma, when you find the path of action that is yours, unique, alone, to give all your eagerness into it, to do your best, to give everything you have to the task at hand. And when you fall, to just pick yourself back up again and pull your bootstraps up and try again. And then to always remember that you're in service to others, not to just yourself, or even to the ones that you love, that you're in service to everyone. Um, the next piece of karma yoga is to have discipline, that these things require discipline, that you need to, I find this sometimes when I'm walking into a patient, be with a patient that I'm struggling how to care for them best, or it's difficult, the scenario is difficult. How do I cultivate my eagerness? How do I cultivate my selfless service when things aren't so easy? So, when we face the challenge of a mob entering our capital, and you can have reaction and you can have judgment about those people versus me. They got there somehow, and we all can get there somehow. Everybody can go to the dark places, right? And so how do we cultivate a sense of discipline, not only in our actions, but in our lack of judgment, our ability to perceive that all is one, and we have to work toward helping instead of dividing. And then lastly, in the path of karma, is to cultivate gratitude, that all of this is helped by a feeling that you're blessed in the world by in so many different ways, and to share those blessings. So if we can cultivate all this, if we can have pure motives and we can follow our unique dharmic path, and we can be eager and let go of the results and let go of our attachment, and find discipline and gratitude, if we can manage to pull all that off, right, then what comes is this deep sense of connection and unity with everyone and everything, the unity of all things. And love can permeate within us. It bubbles up. We get more energy to continue what we're doing. So the attachment to the result of your effort goes away, but instead you are filled with all these unexpected, much more beautiful things that unify all of us. And the echoes of that not only develop your own spirit, but it reaches outward, and you get to help pull everyone up the ladder with you. So realizing we are all one. So that's a little tiny task, right? Just a little small task to do all that stuff. But the pathway of karma yoga is really important. So when you're practicing today, think about your dharma, your specific dharma, not the dharma of your neighbor, but your dharma. What are you meant to do in the world? What is your duty? What is your purpose? What is your gift? And don't attach to it. Don't attach to what you think it should be or your value you place upon it, but instead follow it. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit up straight and tall. Another thing that a lot of the spiritual leaders talked about in that interview was um, allow yourself to feel the hurt, allow yourself to feel the suffering, the pain. Don't, oftentimes when you tend to be service oriented and action oriented, sometimes the missing link is letting things penetrate and come into your heart. So take a moment here as you sit and close your eyes to acknowledge your suffering, how the world events, national events over the last week and over the last year has impacted you. So take time to acknowledge the ways in which you are hurting. It's easy to deflect that and not let it enter, but it's important to understand the ways these things seep into us. And from that place, let compassion grow. Know that your suffering matches many, many others. Try not to have a hierarchy of suffering. Well, I'm better off than that person, so I have no right to feel pain. Or they have it so good and I don't. Try to detach from the hierarchy and just be present for what is. And as your breath helps you to feel this in your body, see if you can turn the ways that you've struggled with fear, anxiety, pain, suffering, depression, isolation, anything. However it's landed in you, can you let it become a seed in your heart to have compassion for self and others? And from that place, plant the seed of your karma yoga. What change do you want to make for yourself, for others? Allow your breath to move through your body. Allow your face to relax. Allow your breath to deepen and slow down. See if you can untether the diaphragm like it has little strings attached to your ribs. Can you loosen the strings? Oftentimes, when we get struggling, we tend to tighten our chest, our ribs. So let that go and breathe deeply. Place your palms together at your heart and see if you can plant a seed of your Dharma. One little tiny act that you can do today. It could be reaching out via email, text, or phone, or in person. It could be paying attention to something. It could be an act of service to another. Anything at all. Just plant your seeds. Okay, and then let's release the hands and come onto your back. Okay, so lie down. Come into that state of allowing yourself to rest and feel spacious. Take up some room on the floor. And if you have been constricted or disassociated because of, paying so much attention to what's happening in the world, see what you can do to loosen your rib cage up. So as you stretch your arms overhead, feel the rib cage move around a little bit. What does your spine feel like? A little bit of a back bend when your arms come overhead. See what it feels like to stretch open. Feel the bottom rib cage as you stretch your arms far up overhead. Feel the bottom rib cage flare a bit and just enjoy the space. And then bring the knees into the chest and rock side to side. All right, circle. Breathe. Let's have a goal of being in your body. So connect with yourself. You can't really accomplish much if you're all discombobulated in your mind-body connection. So let's nourish this connection as we practice. Right knee into your chest, left leg long, roll around in your ankles, roll around in your toes, open up your feet, extend your crown, switch sides, left knee in, still feeling some movement, finding the breath, and the knees in, 2 of them, and then pull the knees wide and back in. Feel the pelvis move a little bit. You can feel a little more arching and rounding in your spine as you move your knees around, just warming up the hip joints and the low back a little bit. Then keep the knees together and circle them a couple times. Get right into the sacrum and low back. Go the other way. And then let's open ourselves up, starfish out, spread out your limbs, wiggle your fingers and toes, take a deep breath, hold your breath and squeeze. And then release that, bring your chin up, hug in, same, wiggle your toes, you can rock your shoulders a little bit. Take a deep breath in, all your breath out and squeeze. And then find some breath. Spread things out, open your body, exhale, round in. Let's do one more. Spread yourself out, take up a lot of room, connect all the way to your limbs. Exhale, connect all the way to your center. Come onto your side, roll over, come up onto your hands and your knees. Okay. Shake out your wrists if you need to. Okay, have some weight, bear down into the earth with your hands and your legs. And then let's start to find some cat-cows. Moving through the spine, taking your time, noticing how your vertebrae moves here. Open your body up. Breathing fully. Move the pose around any way you want to move the pose around. Rolling around your shoulders, moving your hips, moving your head. Get into the rib cage a little bit today. So
let's find some big rib circles. So drop your ribs down, pull your ribs over to the right, back up, over to the left and down. Just feel your rib cage and its attachment to your spine. And then go the other direction. How is your breath? Pay particular attention to how you're breathing. All right, and then stretch back towards child's pose. Take your arms, if you're comfortable, out in front of you. Make an adjustment if this is not happy for your shoulders. Find the breath. Open up the rib cage. Walk the hands over to the right and feel the rib cage open on this side. So if you tend, it's very easy to just narrow up the breath, to just get it into a place where it just doesn't move very much. So open up the ribs, feel that space, and then walk over to the other side, inch over to the left, drop weight into the pelvis, relax your head, deepen your breath. And then come back. Bring your arms down a little bit closer so you're not so stretched out. And just take a moment to feel your breath. You can even bring your arms down at your sides for a moment. Just feel your breath travel down your spine, move into the back body, feel your rib cage expand in the back. See if you can feel the very bottom back ribs and let them open a bit. Find your kidney space and puff it out. Let your breath kind of come underneath you and fill the back body from inside out. And then work your way up into dog pose when you're ready. Spread out your hands and your feet. And if you've been still a lot today, if you haven't moved much yet, this might be challenging to open your legs in this way. So feel free to pedal. You can drop one heel down, then the other. Just let your Achilles stretch a bit, your calves. See if you can feel that back line of the body open. Sit bones high and wide, a little inner spiral of the thighs. Move through your hands, spread them into the earth, and then reach away from the earth. Feel the extension through your spine. Feel the extension through your ribs. Open up your breath now. Relax your head. All right, great. And then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Knees are bent as much as you need. Feel free to roll around in your hips and your head. Anything that feels nice. And then when you're ready, come on up to stand. So you might need to round up or press up or hold onto your knees as you come up. Open across your chest. Spread open your wings. Put your arms anywhere that feels nice. Get a big open heart. Let the back of the neck relax. Try not to use your upper traps. Breathing here. And then release. Shrug your shoulders a couple of times. Just feel the shoulder blades move on the rib cage. Feel that back body again. And then we're going to twist here, just opening up the back side of the rib cage and where it attaches onto your vertebrae, as well as what happens in your breathing. And anything you want to do with your arms. You can flump your arms onto your body. You can bring your arms high. You can just do anything that you want. We're just warming up the ribs here, warming up the spine, the thoracic spine. All right, and then relax for a moment, and let's smack our body down. You can start up, start down. Okay, if anytime that you tend to get a little caught in the past or the future, or disassociating from your body because of stress, having some good slapping can be really nice to wake you up. Feel your rib cage in the back. See if you can take your open fists and kind of smack onto your kidneys, and your whole body. Maybe even the soles of your feet. Okay. Don't forget you have a head, and gentle on your face. Give yourself a few smacks. Okay. And shake that out and be still for a moment. Feel your aliveness. Feel your aliveness. Root into the earth.
Untether the diaphragm, let it drop down, 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 down to the belly, to the pelvic floor, to the soft knees, to the soles of the feet. Ground yourself. We can't go anywhere. We can't have this action without first being embodied, grounded, present, noticing what is. Take a deep breath. Arms up, open that chest. Exhale and fold forward. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Lift and widen your sit bones. Everybody shake out your knees. Bend, bend, bend like one, then the other. Just rock. And then exhale and fold back. Come into chair pose. Either touch your toes together or take your legs wide and put a block between your knees. Whatever feels best for your body. Open things up. Come into a chair. Find your breath. Okay. Squat down a little bit. Just see what it feels like to be here. Thigh bones move back. Round yourself. Open the rib cage up. What does it feel like if you tend to push and flare the ribs open? Can you integrate but still have expansion? So we're not tight, but we are engaged. Find the breath. Feel the stability. Root in. Let your thighs start to feel some warmth. And then stand up straight and tall. Exhale and float back down. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift, your thigh bones move back. Exhale and step back to a plank. Whole body movement. Okay, so finding the breath. And you can always put your knees down if you need to. Feel the integration. Hug elbows into shoulders. Try not to over-rely on your chest. Remember those back body muscles. Inner thighs rolling up toward the sky. We're going to turn our belly button to the right. Chest faces the floor. Come back to center. Turn the belly button to the left. How are you breathing? Back to center. One more time. Turn the navel to the right. Back to center. Turn the navel to the left. Back to center. Put your knees down onto the floor. If you need, come down onto the ground. Take a deep breath. Open the chest. Exhale and melt back down. Engage through your core. One more time. Lifting up. Exhale. Lowering down. Let's take the legs wide apart and lift the legs up. You can have the torso close to the floor. Find those outer hip muscles, wake them up, and then relax and melt. Bend your knees, come up onto all fours. Find some movement. Okay. Find some movement. All right, we're going to sway our hips all the way over to the left and look out over the right foot. And then we're going to come back and we're going to sway our hips all the way to the right and look out over our left foot. And then come back. And now instead of swaying the hips, try to pull your your left hip back and turn just your head and open up the side body a little bit more instead of just the hip. And then come back, reach the right hip back toward the heel and open up through your side. Okay, coming back. Cat-cow or anything that feels good in your body. Come up to dog pose when you're ready. Bend your elbows, swoop them underneath, and then plug your elbows into your shoulders. Bend your knees and plug your knees into your hips. Feel the integration into the center body, and then lengthen outward. How is your breath? Let's bring our right foot forward, come into a lunge. Find your way here. Extend the spine. Let's place our back knee onto the floor. Hands up on your thigh. Reach up. Open your chest. Try not to collapse through the lumbar spine. Feel the support of your lower body. Extend both arms or one arm up in the air. Find what feels good. And if both arms are able to come up, reach on and just stretch open the ribs here. Try not to collapse. You don't want to fall down on yourself. Reach up and over. And then relax your arms down. Blocks are nice. Grab two of them if you have them. Find the extension. We're going to lift your back knee up off the floor. Extend the spine. Okay.
Straighten the front leg and pick the toes up. Square the hips. Tuck your chin toward your chest. Find the breathing. And then bend that knee back into a lunge. Find your back foot. Bring it forward. Fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Sit bones lift. Engage your quads. Exhale and melt back down. Left foot forward, right foot comes back. Come into a lunge on this side. Reach your heart forward. And then place your back knee down onto the ground. Okay. Feel the chest rise up. Bring the arms width. See what it feels like to stabilize. So we're not falling down, we're rising up. Integrate the ribs. So can you have an open rib cage, open chest, big breaths without flaring? Breathe well here. If you're able to, grab onto that wrist. You can alternatively put your hand on your knee and just stretch open. Be really mindful to stabilize your lower body before you open up to the side of it. How's your breath? Come back to center. Bring your hands onto the blocks. Lift your back knee up off the floor, extend, and then straighten your legs. If it's comfortable, lift your toes up off the floor, tuck your chin toward your chest, finding the breath. Come back, bring your back foot forward, fold again. Halfway lift, hands on blocks. Feel the extension through your spine. If you don't have blocks, put your hands on a wall or a table so you can really feel that half dog, half lift vibe where you're not collapsing, you're extending. The knees are soft, the sit bones are high, the spine it reaches. Notice if your floating ribs fall. Integrate the floating ribs in just a bit and feel the extension of your breath moving outward. All right, bend your knees. Come on up for the block between your thighs for chair pose again if you need it. You don't have to, but if you have a destabilized knee, this is a great way to help yourself. Come back into a chair. Extend the spine, find your breath. You have a choice here with your arms up to do this or your hands at your heart. We're gonna turn to the right. Come back up. We're gonna turn to the left. Come back. Go just a little deeper. Turn to the right. If your arms are up, you're swinging one side to the other. Turning to the left. Come on up. Stand up straight and tall. Exhale and release your arms. Take the block out of there if you're using a block. Cross your right arm over your left arm. Drop your shoulders. Lift and open your collarbones. Lift your elbows and pull them away. And see if the closing in on the top front chest allows you to bring the breath elsewhere, because that's always where we breathe, right? The top center chest. Let the arms in front of you remind you that you have open wings. You have open side bodies to breathe into, an open back body to breathe into. Find your breath traveling to different places. And then unwind the arms, lift you up, change sides. Left arm on top of right, shoulders drop. Stretch across the supraspinatus, across the upper traps, these great muscles that do so much for you. Lift the elbows up, pull them away. Open the collarbones, spread them wide. Find the breath moving to different places than just that front top chest. And then unwind the arms, spread your wings, shake out your arms, whatever feels good. Fold forward, relax the spine. Halfway lift, feel the vertebrae lengthen. Exhale and melt. Left foot comes back, right foot forward, come to a lunge. This time a full crescent lunge, reaching your arms up or out or anywhere that's satisfying for your breath and also healthy for your shoulders. Breathing here, we're going to find a twist. So go ahead and place the hand on your thigh. Place your other elbow on your thigh. Cross your hand to your shoulder or bring your palms together. If this is too deep, you get to put your hand on the floor
and reach your arm up in the air. So it doesn't matter which variation of the twist you end up in. It's not about the pose. It's about what you're able to do in the pose. So bring the breath into the rib cage. Where can you breathe? Can you move that femur bone, the back leg femur bone up? Is the spine able to stay long? You can always put your back knee on the floor as well. Okay. Then unwind that posture. Back up into a crescent lunge you go. Hands down onto the ground, half split. So you can put your hands on blocks or you can put your hands on the floor, however your body likes. Extend through that spine. Engage the glutes on both sides differently, but both sides. Extending the heart. Take a deep breath. And then place that foot down next to the other foot. Halfway lift. Stretch back, left foot forward, right foot back. Come into a lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge here. Decide where you want to be in space. How's your body? Do you need to shrink up the pose, narrow it? Do you need to widen it? Are you deep where your knee needs to be? What about your arms? Is your pelvis in a happy place? Oftentimes when we anterior tilt the pelvis, we flare out the floating ribs. So descend the tailbone, maybe even bend the back knee. Lift the pubic bone. Integrate the ribs without having to yank them into your body, which will make your diaphragm not work so well. So soften the rib cage in and feel the diaphragm work. So whatever you want to do with your arms that cultivates that. Feel the discipline of action. So here we are. So stay here, be fully here, be eagerly here. We're going to find our way into a twist. So you can place your elbow on the knee, palms together. You can cross your hand to your shoulder. You can put your hand on the ground and find a twist there. You can put your back knee on the floor. There's so many variations to support you in a twist. Elongate the spine. Use your breath. Can you expand across the collarbones? Can you expand that back thigh and lift it? Is there an inner spiral in that thigh? How are those floating ribs? Can you soften them in as you twist? Can you twist from your core? And then come back to center. Go ahead and place the hands down onto the ground. Step back to a plank. Hold steady here. Finding the breath.
Jenny, we didn't do half splits.
Put your knees on the floor and come
Jenny,
down.
we didn't do half splits.
Find your breath. And instead of coming up into cobra pose, we're going to bring our arms either out in front of us. There, I think that's better.
Sorry, I was saying we didn't do half splits.
Oh, thank you. I'll get to them, promise. Okay, so go ahead and come down onto your belly. Take a deep breath in. Open your chest a little bit, and then we're going to take our arms either up, out, or down. And I want you to go slowly in this action. Take a deep breath, lift opposites. So right arm, left leg. Feel the back body. Exhale and come back down. Change sides. Breathing. Exhale and come back down. One more time. All right, change sides. And then relax. Put your head down on your hands for a moment. Pick up your feet, windshield wiper your knees left and right, and just find that sense of ease across your back. Breathing well. And then come back all the way up to dog pose. Spread out through your hands. I promise I'll get that half split in there somewhere. Extend the spine, relax your head. Feel the fullness of your body here. Walk 2 feet forward, fold in half, relax your spine, shake it out, breathe it out. Grab your 2 blocks. Let's do that half splits now. So standing on your left foot, reach the right leg up in the air, balance. Feel the sense of what your glutes have to do differently. Root your feet, press them into the air and floor, extend the spine. Can you not let the floating ribs drop? Can you integrate softly? Can you let your breath expand all 360 instead of just one direction? And then place that foot down onto the ground, bend your knees, and rise on up. Find your breath, full eagle pose now. We're gonna stand in your right and bring your left leg on top. If you prefer to do the arms first and then the legs, then do your arms first and then your legs. Okay, so whichever way you balance best to get into this pose, we're in opposites. We're standing on our right leg with our left leg on top. Our right arm is over top our left arm. Okay, find the squatting. Use that chair pose. Squat down, lift your chest. Integrate carefully, slowly, gently integrate the ribs into the body. Face forward, lift the elbows, drop the shoulders, spread the collarbones, hug into the midline, expand your rib cage. Find all the little avenues for the back body to breathe, the side bodies to breathe. The yoga of action, the yoga of discipline, the yoga of letting go. So we're not attached. We're not attached to balance. We're not attached to what result we get from this. We're just eagerly here, right here. And then unwind the pose, open your body out, and then relax. Shake things out if you want. Find the second side. So we're rooting into our left. We're bringing the right thigh over, the left arm up. So if your legs don't hook well, try a couple of tricks is to lift your leg a little higher so you can cross a little higher on your thighs. And if your foot doesn't hook, don't worry. Just let that foot hang out wherever it's going to be and squeeze your inner thighs to each other. So stabilize by hugging, okay? And then with the arms, same thing. We're hugging, but we're not collapsing, okay? So lift the spine, lift the elbows, soften the ribs in, breathe into all the spaces that are available. Let your peripheral vision take over. Just be here. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing to do other than be here. Unwind, open yourself up, spread your wings, exhale, and release your arms down. If you're at all dizzy from that, balance point, just take your time to regroup onto 2 feet. Inhale, lift your arms to the sky. Exhale, chair pose. Finding that rooting, ground down. Let all your rib cage move. Stand back up, take a breath, exhale, and fold forward. Relax your neck. Halfway lift, the spine grows. Exhale and relax back down. Step your left foot back, come to a lunge again. Find your breath, rise on up. Go ahead and take our right leg is forward. We're gonna put our right arm on top. Eagle arms, open your chest. Your balance can get messed with, so just be where you are. It's okay if you lose your balance. Integrate the ribs as you lift your elbows. And then exhale, lean forward, stretch forward, lengthen your spine to your back heel, and then hop up, find your way into Virabhadrasana 3. So hopefully those half splits supported the, warming up for this. Extend the spine, integrate the floating ribs, square hips. Feel the crown and the foot move away from each other. Breathe everywhere you can breathe. Feel your rib cage move. All right, and then a big giant step back. Unwind the arms, lift them to the sky, hand on the knee, stretch open through your side. And then relax, bring your hands down onto the ground. Back foot comes forward. Fold in half. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step your right foot back. Come into a lunge on this side. Rise up. Our left foot is forward. So we're going to put our left arm on top. So all this binding across your arms and chest, let it be a window of opportunity for, we always open our chest to breathe. That's like where we naturally go. So let's see if we can find some other places to open. How about those side ribs? What about the back low ribs? What about the back upper ribs? Stabilize with your legs. And as you're ready, lean forward, extend the spine. Take either a little hop and then a big hop into the pose, or just one big hop. Square the hips. Use your legs. Press into the feet. Engage your core, your legs, your hips. Extend the spine. Where's your breath going? And then a big giant step back, come back into your lunge, reach the arms up, get rid of your bind, open up anywhere you want your arms to be, just take them apart, breathe, exhale, and step back, dog pose. Full breaths here, feel the side ribs. I promise I'll get to that side stretch that I just forgot. Okay, so breathe here. Let's bring that left foot back forward, come into a lunge and reach the arm up and open. Try not to collapse, so it's so easy to fall. Reach through both sides. Place that hand down onto the ground and turn to the side edge of your mat. So long edge of your mat. Come down, extend the spine, and then come forward. Bring your hands on the floor or on blocks. And extend the spine. Femur bones move back, shins are slightly moving forward. And then we're going to come on up to stand. Turn your feet out, toes are in. Toes are out, heels are in. Take a breath and find your way down to goddess. Now remember, if you have a knee that bothers you or a hip, you tend to lean into the side that's a little healthier, more supportive. So try to go into the vulnerable side first. Squat where that side can handle, and then let the other side marry that side so that you are not leaning into your favored side all the time. Open up your chest, no eagle arms, big open arms. Now let your front chest expand. The way we've been kind of narrowing the front chest, let it have its open time. Root into the feet, pull outer knees to outer hips, breathe well. Put your arms anywhere that feels really good to your body. Find the breath. And come on up. Straighten your legs again. Turn your feet forward. Place your hands down onto the ground. One last twist. Right hand into the center. Left hand either comes on your hip or in the air, whichever you decide. Keep your if you were twisting to the left, keep your right thigh lifting. And then exhale and come back. Change sides, left hand on the mat. Find your breath as you twist right, left thigh lifts. Okay, and then come back to center. Walk to the front of your mat, dog pose. Finding your breath in, finding your breath out. Okay, come forward, plank pose. One more time, turn the navel to the right. Back to center, turn the navel to the left. How's your breath when you do this? When you integrate your core, can you still breathe? After you finish the second side on the left, put your knees down and let's come on to our back. Okay. So lie down. Full breaths here. We're going to come into bridge pose. So all this eagle, that we've done with our arms in front of our chest. Now let's just take our arms out to the sides for a moment. So open up the places where we typically breathe. Let the front chest be broad.
And then we're going to move our way into a bridge. So put your arms where you want them to be. You can interlace underneath you if your body likes that. You can cactus the arm, not cactus, but like robot the arms with your elbows down and your palms up facing each other. Your arms can be all the way down on the ground with your palms facing up. Anything that serves you. Okay, try not to compress your neck into the floor. Back of the head has a little pressure, but not your neck. Feel the chest open. Feel the belly open. Feel the feet root. Use all your muscles to support yourself. Let your diaphragm move. Deep, full breaths. Focus on your breathing. All right, let's go ahead and relax and come down. Rest here for a moment. Get your shoulders to a neutral position. Feet stay bent. Breathe well. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto your side and grab a blanket. All right, so you can roll or fold your blanket. This depends. Lately, when I've been doing this, I've been doing kind of like a flat roll, like I roll it and then flatten it and then roll it and flatten it. So I'm still rolled, but I have a little bit of a flatter surface that's feeling good to me lately. But whatever is feeling good to you. Okay, so we're gonna do we've done this before. We're gonna take 3 different variations. Of course, you can grab a block or anything else you need to support your head if you don't like your head hanging back. Bend your knees to begin and find this roll underneath your shoulder blades, kind of top edge, middle edge of the shoulder blades. Decide where you want your arms to be. They can be anywhere. They can be up overhead. You can grab onto your elbows. You can have cactus arms, arms out to the side. If you have some shoulder issues, try bringing your arms right in front of your chest, hands in the air, and just see how far you go back without pain. And stop where there's no pain. Maybe that means you have to bring your arms out to the side once you get to that place. So arms can be anywhere. Focus on your breath. Of course, you can straighten your legs if you prefer. You can also keep your knees bent, whatever you prefer. All right, and then let's walk. Take the shoulder blades for a walk down the blanket. So the blanket's now at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. So don't go into your low back, but find the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. Readjust where your arms need to be. This is a really good place to feel those tethers of your diaphragm. So if you have been holding your breath unbeknownst to you, or you've been, gripped in tension, anxiety, disassociation, if you've not been deeply in the breath in the last few days, here's your opportunity to open those ribs up. All right, and then the last position we're going to choose is to take the bolster all the way down to the pelvis. So skip the low back. Now it's underneath our pelvis, underneath the sacrum, and you decide, do you want to keep your knees bent? Do you want to straighten one leg? Do you want to straighten both legs? Where do you want your arms to be? So remember, your psoas muscles and your diaphragm are intimately related. So when your diaphragm tightens up from stress and anxiety, your psoas will match it. So let's open up your psoas, let your psoas teach your diaphragm to open up. then go ahead and relax that. Keep the bolster underneath your sacrum. Bring your knees a little bit, don't bring them all the way to your chest, just bring them a little bit towards your chest. Find a little bit of ease through your back. Now you get to decide if thigh over thigh feels good, or if you want to get rid of that blanket rather, and come into a hip stretch, either thigh over thigh or a reverse pigeon. Try, if you have the ability to put your foot, if you're in reverse pigeon pose and you have the ability to put your foot up on a piece of furniture or a wall, do that so that you don't have to hold your legs. Let your chest stay open. Enjoy the openness you just cultivated. Let it echo out. Okay, and change sides. Stay present with your breath. Relax your shoulders. Relax the base of your skull or the back of your skull. Just let everything melt into the floor. All right, and then relax. Hold on to your knees, rock. And then put your feet on the floor. Lift your hips, scooch them right, bring these up, drop them left. Gentle twist, release tension in the body. Take a deep breath here. And come back to center. Scoot your hips the other way, knees up, drop them over to the side. Open the breath. And then go ahead and come on up. If you need a happy baby or anything to support your spine, take it. Shavasana might feel really nice, supported by some support underneath your knees. So whatever feels good, you get to take the support that you need. When we're trying to be yogis of action, that means we need rest, right? We need restoration and renewal in order to give freely of ourselves without attachment and ego. Selfless service requires replenishment. If you do not have a wellspring that you reach from, you can't be in that space for very long. So let Shavasana be the well to dip into. Let your body rest into the earth. Feel that you can receive. What do you need? Receive what you need. Breathe. Enjoy the openness of your chest, the openness of your whole rib cage. Melt any tension across your face. And soften your limbs.
Let's begin to deepen our breathing. And before you move, one more time, drop your body into the earth. Ask for renewal. Ask for courage. Ask for strength. Ask for clarity. Let the earth support you. Take a deep breath and start to move however you need moving. Let's find our way into an upright posture when you're ready. Place your palms at your heart and let your chest be broad and free. Offer your open heart. Hold someone that needs holding in your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Blessings on the day.